Okay, so I finally got back from Smyrna, Georgia. Yes, where the DDPY Performance Center is, because I was invited to the 2024 Transformation Summit. So I'm going to try to go over briefly some of the things that I liked, some of the things that I could have done better, person I could have done better. I don't want anyone to think that there's something wrong with the staff, the DDPY community. Super awesome, super accounting, super welcoming. Just I wasn't in like the right headspace to try to really, I don't want to say fully commit. Yeah, I'll say like to fully embrace and to fully just dive into this as much as I probably could have. So first things first, Smyrna, beautiful place, lots of little shops, lots of little places to eat at. It is in Georgia, so humid. Yeah, but the Performance Center, nice location, easily walkable. I mean, there's places you can eat all around it, which was really cool. Being in the Performance Center itself, awesome. For one of the yoga doc workouts that should be coming on the app pretty soon, I actually had to be on stage. Level 1 certified instructor. It's cool to be on stage. Having said that, with those lights on you, like I sweat a lot. I mean, we had to do some spots where, like someone had to put their arm like underneath where my face was, and I'm turning my head like, don't just dribble sweat down onto their hand. And got to work with Bobby Fish, Kimberly Page, Page's wife, Paige McMahon Page, yes, Page, Yoga Doc, DDP, Hayden. It was really cool. I get to meet him in person finally. Got to have a few minutes with DDP talking for a little bit. And again, really cool. Some of the Facebook group actually, we all went to Deadpool. That's why there's the weird Deadpool review where it's like, wait, that's not his normal background. Lots of cool people to meet there. I got to go on stage and share my story. And that led to a really awesome moment. People walking in and kind of saying like, hey, I heard what you said. I've gone through similar things. Thank you for saying that. And those were some really fantastic moments. And he went out to dinner with a bunch of them. And it was weird because, you go with a few people and then just more and more you kind of just like agglomerate. And then all of a sudden you go from like, oh, we need seating for 12. It's like, oh, actually we need seating for 18. And on the last night, which was Saturday, by the time I got back, I made the mistake of doing 2 sessions an hour long. So I did 2-hour-long workouts. So up until I walked there. I walked to all of the workouts. From where my hotel was to where the performance center was, shade under 3 miles. But I'm thinking, it's not too bad of a walk. But the humidity in the morning it was like, high 70s, low 80s, 99% humidity. If you don't know what that feels like, picture your body as a sponge. And King Kong is squeezing you. That's about the way it feels. And if you went later on during the day, humidity dropped down to like the mid 70s. Your temperature was now in like the high 80s, low 90s. One of the days I actually took a screenshot of the temperature, and it was like, it feels like 104 outside. And I was like, I'm gonna see if I can get a ride, which I was able to do, which is pretty cool. So the workouts were awesome. Lots of people actually get to get some one-on-one time with. It was really cool. I mentioned not being in the proper headspace for it. I would have loved my wife to be able to come with me for this sort of thing. She could have been invited, but we asked my daughter, like, hey, I want to take, my wife, your mom, to Georgia for a couple of days, and she was like, you can only go if we all go. They don't have a spot for kids. And it's one of the things when you're going there to do workouts and stuff. And I can't like leave my daughter alone in a hotel room for several hours at a time. So I was like, okay, well, she didn't want to spend time with her grandparents, so, she wasn't able to come with me. And also from like the work front, 2 massive projects, when I booked all this, were still happening in the future. The future now is like this week and the week of Labor Day. So, it's Sunday night. This is like 11:25 as I'm doing this. I don't know when a customer's showing up on Tuesday or what Tuesday looks like. I'll find all stuff out tomorrow. So you're having those sorts of things just kind of weigh on me. So, flew out there Friday. Yes, you fly this time of year. It's hectic. Getting there, getting a lift, getting through Atlanta Airport. I'm used to Chicago airports where, you get to your concourse and your concourse has its own, or terminal, has its own, security. Atlanta, there's one main security thing, and then you ride a train to go everywhere. So I got a flight, I'm like, all right, ground transportation, cool. Hop on this train, all right. All right, where do I do rideshare? And there's like, here's arrows on the ground, cool, keep on walking, keep on walking, keep on walking. I'm like, I'm not gonna book rideshare until I actually know where I'm supposed to be at. Got there, pouring rain, because that's what it does in Georgia. And then flying back, that was 40 minutes in security to then just get, onto the tram, and then to get to where my gate was, and then to get on a full flight where we had a rain delay and all that stuff. It was just, the travel part really wore on me. I mean, traveling does, and doing it solo also didn't help things too much either. So that was Wednesday, as well as also today being Sunday. Thursday, check-in, kind of chaotic, just because you're checking in, like, all right, so make sure you get your stuff. I don't know the vast majority of people who are there. If you do more things on Facebook and all that, you will know more people, more connections before you just show up entirely cold. I mean, well, for the most part, cold. Got to do a nice workout, walked back. That's when I'm like, all right, I don't really know the lay of the land very well. I don't quite know what I'm going to do for dinner. I did pack lots of food, because that's kind of what I did. And I was like, well, I did see an Aldi's. Hit Aldi's, grabbed enough stuff, just kind of like, all right, this can get me through, some of the low points here and there. Them doing like a pretty good size like meet and greet and all that, which is really cool. And then walking back from some of that, I was like, oh, my God, people like, oh, hey, you guys are walking too, and they're like, no, we're gonna get some food. Oh, and they're like, we can give you a ride. Oh, okay, that's cool. And then the next day, I'm like, all right, well, we had the Deadpool thing at night, so I still walked, got to the Performance Center, did a workout. It was supposed to be a Paige for an hour, but we got Bobby Fish for the first half an hour, and then Paige, Miss Paige, not Dallas Paige, Paige. Did a more Pilates focused thing, and I turned out I'm super tight in hip flexors, IT bands, and all that, and that was, whoa, that was an eye opener. Pretty much every workout was very intense. But as always, if you want to modify, you can. But just when you get in a room and it's full of people, and airflow is good in some spots, not in other spots. If you pick the wrong spot, it's working out in the sauna. But everyone gets in there, everyone gets super excited, and you're energized, the adrenaline starts flowing, the energy's going, and then the workouts, and you're like, yeah, that was awesome. All my strength left my body. Let me drink some water. And then to get enough energy to walk the 3 miles back to the room. I told my wife that when I was done with the walk and I was walking back, I got to the hotel room, I'm like, I throw my clothes in the sink. Why in the sink? I'm like, because they're that wet. And then I take a nice shower, cool down, and literally chill. So, really cool experience. If you have the opportunity to do it, definitely do it. If you have the opportunity to work out in the PC, DDPY PC, definitely do it. If you're going to the summit, try to definitely do more things in the Facebook group beforehand. Try to build some of those relationships, and people, when you show them, you're like, oh, hey, we talked about, and you have that initial connection. With it all being on Facebook, I was like, man, is that even on my phone? Because that's how little I do the social media stuff beyond, this. So make sure you do those sorts of things. If you're already active in the community and all that, you'll have zero issues. It'll be an amazing time. People they'll pre-know you. I didn't do those sorts of things. I'm not on Facebook that often. So I walked in there probably a lot colder than I should have. And also kind of missing my wife didn't help things that much. Because when, you're surrounded by people, and then I have like some downtime to kind of, collect my thoughts and walk back to the hotel room to then be in a room by myself. So that being said, get an opportunity, do it. Do a little bit of pre-work before you go there. If I get invited again, I definitely don't want to be by myself. Either I'll drag a buddy along with me, or I'll see if my wife can come with me. Maybe we'll make it like a longer trip. There's a lot of really cool things to do in Georgia beyond just go to Smyrna. I mean, I pretty much first time in Georgia, and I was like, oh, it's really cool. I in the past I want to make trips out to Savannah and Atlanta and all that, but I'm like, I'm get to go there, get to do this, immerse myself in this. I'm also really big on planning things. They didn't really have a schedule done until like the Monday of, which makes things kind of hectic when you're like, all right, I'm flying out on Wednesday. Kind of like to know what I need to pack. So I was pretty much like fully packed up before I really knew what I was going to do. And then I'm like, all right, do I need polos? And then most things I went to, I'm like, all right, everyone's in like DDPY gear. So I don't need to pack any polos. Unless you really want to do something that look, kind of cool for like a photo shoot and stuff like that. So, if this is something you're interested in and you like DDPY, and you want to hang out with some wrestlers, I was going to work with Kimberly Page too, which is, cool. Scotty Riggs was there too. Talked with him for a little bit, which is also awesome. So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things. And talking with other people who have been to previous ones are like, yes, some dude named Cody Rhodes was there and people were going nuts over it. So, it's, and the pictures and everything all around the performance are really awesome. So lots of really cool things there. Just to get the most out of it, make sure you do a little bit of pre-work, and that your head is in the proper place, that you can kind of disconnect from the majority of the world and just fully immerse yourself in the community.